Thank you for visiting the Mission Lifeline mapping site. In this tutorial, we'll show you how, in just a few simple steps, you can update the location information and geographic coverage area that's associated with your STEMI system. Once you've reviewed the disclaimer information, please click Yes to agree and continue. In the first step, we're going to ask you to put in the name of your STEMI system as well as the email address for the STEMI champion. Once you've added your account, you should receive an email in the next few minutes with a unique URL. If at any time you need to return to this tool to make changes to your map, you can do so by clicking on the URL. Once your account has been created, you'll be taken to the Introduction checklist. Here we'll show you all the information that you need to complete the tool. Basically, you need the location and contact information for the hospitals and first responders that comprise your STEMI system, as well as the zip code coverage area for your system. If you're not exactly sure which zip codes you cover, don't worry. In step 4 of the tool, we'll show you how, through some simple GIS application, you can show and map the coverage area for your system. If you need to print out the checklist of these things and return to it at a later time, you can do so and then bookmark this page, or as I said earlier, return to that URL to return to the page. Now let's begin. In step 1, we're going to ask you to select the hospital locations in your STEMI system. To begin, please select the state or states in which your system exists. Next, you will find a listing of the hospitals in that state. If you'd rather further filter by county, you can do so by clicking on the drop-down list, then selecting or multi-selecting the hospitals in your area and clicking here, Add Selected Hospitals. The hospital will appear in the window below, Added Locations. This is the list of hospitals and first responders that comprise your system. If for some reason you need to remove a hospital from your list, you can simply click on the box below and click Remove Selected. If you don't find your hospital in the box above, you can also click Let's Add It. And here you can type in the name, address, and other contact information for any hospitals that we may have missed. Once you've added your locations, please click Go to Step 2. Now in Step 2, we're going to ask you to identify the PCI capability for the hospitals in your STEMI system. Once you've done so, make your selection and click Proceed to Step 3. Now in Step 3, we're looking for the first responder locations associated with your system. As you did with the hospitals, please select your state and then your county. We have a pre-populated list of some first responder locations, but you may find it necessary to click on the Let's Add It to add new first responder locations. You can multi-select or select a single first responder location and then click Go to Step 4. Now wait just a moment and then click Continue to select your zip code coverage area. The map is now processing the locations that you have entered. You can see here the PCI hospital and the first responder hospital that I selected. In red, you see the zip code coverage area that has been predetermined by the system. This is based on the zip code hospital service area that is related to the hospital that I have selected. If I need to make any edits to that map, I can do so in a number of ways. First, I can simply type in a new zip code. Let's say 36006. I want to add as I can see it on my map. And you can see how my coverage area quickly changes. I can also expand the map. Let's say that I have a much broader coverage area than simply that. You can see here reflected on the coverage area the zip codes within the southern portion of Alabama. I now have some tools that I can use to expand my zip code coverage area. I can click Select Zip and click on a single zip code in order to add it to my coverage area. I can also click on the zip code and remove it again. I can also use the Select Area tool to draw a box around the zip codes that I would like to include in my zip code coverage area. And within a couple moments, it will add those zip codes to my coverage area. I can also click Radius Ring if, let's say, I have a helicopter or another form of transportation and a certain mileage radius. You can see here 21 miles out from my center point, I've selected my hospital. It will select all of the zip codes within that 21-mile radius. Finally, if I have a specific geography, let's say Perry County, that I want to add, I simply select on my state and select my county. Now I'm going to click Select All to select all of the zip codes in Perry County and click Add Zip Codes. For each zip code that I have added using any of these three methods, my selected zip codes not only appear in red on the map, but they also appear in this list of zip codes off to the left. If I want to not display all of the outlines, but simply see if this represents the zip code coverage area that represents my system, I can turn on or off the zip code layer here. And I can also remove zip codes that I accidentally added by clicking or multi-selecting those zip codes and clicking Remove Selected Zip Codes. As I'm reviewing my selected locations, if I realize that I have missed a hospital or a first responder location, I can change that easily. In this Forget Something window, I can go back to select a hospital, add my PCI capability, or select my first responder. Because I'm happy with my selections, I will continue to the final step in this process, Submit Coverage Area. As a final check, I now see a list of the hospitals and first responders that I have selected, as well as the list of zip code coverage areas that I have selected in my system. Once I've reviewed that, I click Submit and Finish, and I'm done. This will take just a few minutes to update on your Mission Lifeline community page, or about a day to process on our public map. If you have any questions throughout this process, please click on the Mission Lifeline Representative link, and here you will be taken to our contact page where you can email your AHA representative with any further questions that you may have. Thank you for using this tool,